Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. I've missed you guys, and it's great to be back. On today's show, we have a very special guest, CJ from House of Titans. And CJ, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. How's it going, everyone? How's it going, Jarek?
No, this is great. It's great to have you on. And the House of Titans have been, especially trying to get Apex on for quite a while. Actually, I believe since like last year, though. But it's good to have you here. And CJ, before we start, kind of tell us a little bit more about you and how did you get into crypto?
Yeah, for sure. So, I initially got in to the entire ecosystem pretty much because Apex kind of cherry picked me out of some stuff. I'm a trained game designer, so I was
Oh,
sending out applications to a bunch of different projects, and one of them caught my eye. House of Titans, I sent in an application, got to the interview process, and all that, and yeah, Apex really liked me, and that was around the time of the initial PFP mint, and then from there we I slowly started building up some of the other projects and features of that we were doing, like our new assets. So he wanted to build like a gamification platform for the PFPs, and my game design background helped build that out just to work for something that works. And then we built the strongholds because we identified a market gap in passive revenue and multi revenue streams, and then Deepin as like a big power play. And then since then, Strongholds released to pretty good success along with the PFPs, and we were looking for ways to expand the brand. And the only logical thing to do from our scenario was the Titan token. So we just kind of took what the Strongholds did from a utility perspective, and then like passive revenue through multiple revenue streams, ensuring stability and security, and then kind of built that into a yield-based token, which is the Titan token now. So I've been kind of spearheading most of those projects with the guidance and awesome mentorship and marketing guidance from Apex. So yeah, we've been doing some awesome stuff recently.
no, no doubt. There's been a lot going on, and I definitely want to get into all that, for, like all that what you guys have going on. But starting off with kind of like the beginning, right? The PFP project, right? And kind of like go into kind of that, and the different traits, and like, is there anything that's gonna like mean down the road with the upgrade, or like how's that all gonna work?
Yeah, so the main thing that we want to do is in it's pretty obvious in the crypto space that like gamification stuff is not necessarily frowned upon, but it's something that needs to be like ancillary to the core concepts of the thing. People are investing in these NFTs for profit lot of the time, and there needs to be some sort of like actual incentive, not just a play to earn model that we've seen how the many projects that have tried that and have unfortunately failed. So pretty much the core trait that anyone needs to focus on for any of the PFPs is their class. So the class determines various factors about the mission. So for anyone who doesn't know, your PFP, which is your profile picture of your Titan, has various metadata class traits, and one of them being your class. So there's peasants, townsfolk, military, mystics, royals, and the one of one titans. So there's only 20 of those. And you once you own a PFP, you can swear an oath to one of the 20 houses that we have. That was a big marketing brand for us in the beginning. So it gives you access to an exclusive community. You can start performing missions for your house and gathering resources to fund other higher difficulty missions, and generally just trying to increase your house's position on the leaderboard. We have a lot of ideas and features that we want to incorporate, but one of the key design balances that we're trying to balance is ensuring that we're having a like a simplified form of gamification, something that people don't need to necessarily super engage with or really like dive deep into, but also have something that's worthwhile to experience for those that are interested and invested in it. So that's something that we're actually looking to address in Q1 of next year. We have a lot of developments that are almost actually out the door this month, but we'll probably address those at some point later. But more of the gamification features are coming there, and sorry, just looping back to the traits, the metadata classes determine different proficiencies for certain missions. So certain missions will gather food, other missions will gather gems or eyeballs, which are like the premium currency, and different classes are better suited at doing different ones. We're even planning to incorporate some raid functionalities too, which is where the military class will shine a lot of the time, which will allow you to pilfer other houses for their resources and kind of have this whole community battle, but also working together type thing to build this full ecosystem for all the houses and such.
No, that's great. And like you guys have such a like you guys started off kind of the PFP collection. You guys have grown so much. You have so much kind of going on in the ecosystem. But I do want to sidetrack a little bit and kind of talk about like Cardano in a sense of you at the beginning with Apex. Like what made you all kind of stay here? Because the popular thing to do like nowadays is always to kind of pick on Cardano and Cardano's dying this and everything like that. Like what has made y'all stay and fight through and believe in this ecosystem?
That's a great question. So myself, I mean, I pretty much just follow the whims of whatever Apex is telling me to do. I have a pretty diverse skill set. So if he wants something out the door, that's kind of my job to get it out there. But in terms of why we stayed on Cardano, we love the community. Apex has been building on here for a while. He understands like what the market trends are and what the different plays are. We find that there's a lot of value in terms of not only the brands and other projects that are building up in like the DeFi space within Cardano. So like referencing like Iagon for as like a big contributor, we're partnered with them. But also there's like projects like Dedium, WMT, and Zerberus that are all like building really interesting and powerful tools like in the deep end ecosystem that we're trying to partner with, and Cardano is a great incubator for that type of thing, especially moving forward to next year, where we're going to be seeing the Bitcoin OS bridge through like various projects in general. We find that there's a lot of potential in Cardano that's untapped. It's a pretty insular community, but given that there's so much potential and developments that are being built on this spot, it's actually probably a pretty good space to set ourselves up for success, especially given the rising popularity of Web3 and crypto overall. So as for like an exact reason, I actually probably couldn't tell you. That's mostly an Apex question. He loves the space, he loves the people here, and he really believes in the community. So if Apex believes in it, then I'm here for the ride. So I think that I believe in it too.
No, no, definitely, and he's always bull posting about it and everything. Though, but two things you said in the conversation of Iagon, like, can you kind of talk about like that partnership?
Yeah, absolutely. So we with the launch of our Stronghold NFTs, we wanted a way to earn passive revenue, and so we've already invested into Bitcoin mining through various partnerships, such as like the GGMC Kingdom Trust partnerships, and now we are opening a Cardania mining farm that's coming that should be live this month at some point. But we're looking to diversify our portfolio in terms of investment strategies to get more different types of revenue. And Iagon at the time was still up and coming, still very popular, but more up and coming. And we managed to secure a great partnership with them. We were one of, if not the first project to really incorporate them with a asset. So with our strongholds, being like a what is a revolutionary utility NFT where you can earn rewards based on the different metadata traits on your asset. We decided that Iagon was a brilliant like platform to start leveraging on. So we established a great partnership with them. We talked with all their guys. We've in fact even launched a 1,500 terabyte storage and compute place. Server rack within their data centers with what are known as enterprise nodes, which are like the highest tier exclusive node within the entire ecosystem. So we're ensuring like the best rewards, the most uptime, like the most consistency with Iagon in general. And because we're just renting the infrastructure, we can ensure that the quality is maintained. Their CTO Holger is the guy that's really managing them. He's a brilliant guy, knows all the stuff about that. Works in a data center, so he manages all that. So all our infrastructure is being managed by the relevant parties that know how to best manage it. So and then we're just reaping the rewards from that and then distributing it back to the community.
No, no, that's definitely great. And he always is posting about Iagon and everything like that. And just like kind of like I said, you guys have really have a real well thought out like ecosystem. But you said something else that I want to get back to because this is something I've been hearing a lot of, especially in the later part of this year. And maybe you can explain it to some of the newer people that are going
Mhm.
to watch this. Like, what exactly is like DPINs?
So DPIN stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. And to kind of simplify it, there's a lot of tokens and assets in Web3 that are pretty much exclusively like online or are trying to incubate some sort of like returns or growths or pumps through just like the online ways of how how tokens work. So if you buy enough, supply demand will necessitate that the price goes up. But we really feel that there's some value in establishing the blockchain technology and the bringing crypto to the real world. So with Iagon, for instance, they provide real world solutions with cloud storage and cloud compute with their decentralized form of various processes and things that will host the storage over a blockchain and a network of their nodes that people can operate from home or operate in a data center like we do. And it really brings like a true solution that, in fact, a lot of companies are actually really rearing for. In the now with AI and the rise of like necessities of GPUs and other processing power, solutions like Iagon are providing really valuable utilities to a lot of that stuff. But that it kind of goes beyond that too, where we have partnerships with like WMT or World Mobile Token, who are providing like like decentralized networking and like telecommunications efforts. And those again are real world solutions that have like an impact on people. So that's something that we have seen to be that seems to be like kind of the meta in terms of not only just like what people are interested in investing in, because I feel like a lot of people within Web3 overall are just feeling that there's a lot of like these scam tokens or these kind of
Mhm.
like the gambling casino type stuff, right? Like, and there's definitely a time and a place for that. I'm not trying to diss any of that type of thing either, but there's also definitely an investor type that wants stability, security, and insurance that their investments are being put to probably a good cause and have increasing value. Like it's hard to gauge the amount of money that a random casino Web3 thing is worth versus like an actual like real solution like Iagon or WMT or Dedium with their GPU decentralized GPU initiatives and stuff like that too. So we're partnering with any of these high potential projects that can really provide a real world impact, and that's kind of the goal here.
No, no, definitely. And that was more of a kind of question for me because like I've heard that all over the place, and it's like, man, there's so many things going on in Web3 and everything like that. I was like, let me just go ahead and ask though, but also want to kind of get back into the ecosystem and talk about like the strongholds and the Titan token and how that's all going to kind of like work and tie together.
Yeah, absolutely. So they kind of use a very similar structure, but through different means. I'll start with the Titan token and then jump to the strongholds because they use a similar principle. So with the Titan token, we've invested in multiple revenue streams. So we already have our Bitcoin mines through various partnerships. Again, I mentioned Cardania, but we also have like GGMC miners, and we're looking to scale that production as well. Our investment in Tiagon will provide passive revenue to us that we can distribute to the community, along with WMT rewards, Dedium rewards, and pretty much any of these projects that you can operate a node or on their infrastructure, then get paid out. We just make these larger purchases that the normal user can't do, and then be able to distribute them those rewards evenly based on a yield based formula. Yield based meaning the amount of Titan token that you stake to our platform determines your percentage of the total amount staked. In that percentage is your reward scheme. So if there are 10 users that have staked one Titan token each, that means there's 10 Titan tokens staked. That means each user will earn 10% of any rewards we pay out. That's the pretty much the principle behind all of our rewards platforms and structures. And this was actually originally built. Now jumping back to the strongholds, it was built on the strongholds, where the idea with the NFTs is because you can't really do a yield based structure with NFTs. Like the more strongholds you earn, the more percentage. It really leads to whales taking over all of it, and it doesn't really allow users to or like really get into the ecosystem. We don't want to gatekeep that. So we devised a this more gamified approach, but kind of an abstracted way of calculating these rewards through reward points. So I had mentioned previously that different sites or different metadata traits on the stronghold will determine different revenue streams that you earn from. So we have various, these are known as sites. So you have some guaranteed sites that are appearing on every stronghold, such as like the town hall, fortifications, the barracks, and a mine. So those are all tied to like the mining points, which are Bitcoin mining revenue streams. The fortifications is for our IAG points. So in essence, all of these sites can appear in one of 5 levels, and each of those levels corresponds to a set amount of points that you will earn per every 5 days. And there's ways to speed this up. I don't want to kind of dive into all the weeds. There's a
Hmm.
lot of like technical stuff when it comes to like the actual mechanics of the system. But in essence, the rarer your stronghold, or the larger your stronghold, the more points you accrue. And at the end of an age, which is like roughly a month, 30-day period, you all the points of a given revenue stream that we're paying out are added up, and then the amount of points that you contributed to that total, similar to the yield-based structure of the Titan token, are then determine your percentages of the rewards that we're paying out, and then all the points are drained for the next age, which means that anybody that has had a stronghold or now purchases into the stronghold ecosystem will be at in level playing field for all other users, every age. So that is just like the way to kind of balance it out for everyone. Obviously, those with more strongholds will have more of like a larger share of the pie overall, but that's kind of integral because it works with alongside like a yield based structure too. So we kind of tried to make sure that it's balanced not only for the like the big spenders, but also for anyone that just wants a few ADA that are dropping into their account every once in a while. That's kind of the whole process here.
No, that's definitely great. And like I said, you guys have built out this, whole ecosystem, and you got the strongholds, the Titan token, and everything like that. But the thing that everybody wants to know, right? And Apex has been teasing it, on X and everything like that. When is this beautiful arc rate upgrade coming?
Yeah, so we're actually working on that. Like pretty much when you called me up, I was working on some of that. So we have I'm happy to announce that all the traits have been completed now.
Oh,
And Apex has I think has announced that already. So we're kind of in the revision to building like the rule sets and everything. There's a lot of nuance that's going to be going into this. So this isn't going to be a direct one for one upgrade, mostly because a lot of the traits in our initial collection just didn't end up playing out as well as we wanted in the new art style. And given that our initial collection was not necessarily like what we were really looking for, a lot of the quality of some of the art was not up to our par. Nothing, no shame to the artist at all. It just was kind of how the layering process
mm,
happened. When you do 6,500 of these things, so you're bound to get a few bad apples. But our goal here, we have a few pillars, and one of the main ones is we want to make sure the aesthetic of like the metadata class for each one of these. For each NFT matches the aesthetic that you see. So, for instance, military will often be equipped with weapons or swords or guns. Mystics will have wands and wizard hats and things like that. We're actually going to be showing this in full, like flexing our design muscles here by hand making all 220 royal class NFTs. So those are going to be completely custom. We're going to ensure that they look as good as possible because those are our second rarest class, because the custom one of one titans are kind of a tier of their own. And then the peasants and townsfolk will get kind of the remaining ones. But again, we're trying to make sure that everything here looks as good as possible, and as clean as possible. And we're kind of in the revision working with the artists to make sure that there's no like missed lines, missed colors, or anything. Same with like the layering process. We have different races and things. We have like orcs, elves, humans, cyborgs, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of nuance when it comes to like how the layers will work. Like, can we have a cyborg with hair? Like, how does that work? So there's a lot of those like kind of edge case stuff that we're working on. But so it's definitely a process. We're aiming for a batch of the Royals to release sometime this month. That will be our initial launch to just show our most dedicated users their upgrades, like get those out the door. And then we're going to be open and communicative with the community on how the rollout process will be. We have a few ideas floating around. Some so one of which is like we're going to take like one of the races or species of our entire collection, such as like the orcs. We have various skins that are all orc themed. Like we have white orcs, green orcs, blue orcs, the Uzruk orcs, which are like the rarest ones. And then we'll release a batch of only the orcs. Like the orcs are coming, and then do a similar one for the apes, and then the elves, and then the humans, which have like a huge variety of those. Another big feature of this upgrade is we've actually added female NFTs. So there's a whole additional layer of that too. So we're in the process of trying to see how these are going to convert. But in essence, you can likely, if you're a holder of PFPs, of the House of Titans PFPs, you can expect likely either a direct upgrade or a complete randomization, which will be an upgrade over whatever art you had initially. So I know some people might be a little bit frustrated about like their original PFP not being completely transferred over, but we're sure that you will be happy with the new quality of these of the art because we're really happy with it.
No, definitely. Each time he teases, I mean, they look amazing, especially the female ones and everything like that. So I can't wait for that to happen. But I do want to talk to you. You said you're a gaming developer, and whenever I get one of you guys on, like I love talking about like crypto gaming, and we've had some success as of late, with off the grid on AVAX and everything
Yep.
like that. And I do want to ask you right now, we've had that little bit of success, crypto gaming as a whole. Like, where do we go from here? Like, where do you see it kind of going in the next like 1 or 2 years?
That's tough. So like off the grid was definitely a success. I'm looking forward to seeing how that spans in the long term. I think a lot of these crypto games like have a lot of potential in the early phases, but struggle to continue into the long term, like a live service model. Just because it's that process where you're trying to balance both the worthwhileness of whatever internal tokens or assets that you're trying to sell to your community, and also the integrity of the game itself, right? So with Off the Grid, I think they have like these tokens and currency that you can use to purchase various like cosmetics and potentially other weapons and stuff, which is a good model and a good practice. Like even Web 2 games like League of Legends, for instance, the staying away from anything mechanical that impacts like the integrity of the strength of your character, and just keeping it purely in the cosmetic realm is probably a good idea. I think there's definitely going to be a slow but steady shift over the next 2 to 5 years. I would imagine where we're going to slowly see multiple companies. We know that Ubisoft, for instance, like big company there, was looking into crypto or tokenization within their ecosystems, and I think we're going to see more and more of these companies start to adapt and adopt these processes over time as we see more and more successes like Off the Grid happen. How that's going to shape out, well, I think that's we're going to see, right? It's hard to know
Yeah.
with any of those things because a lot of the time there's a lot of flavor of the month within the gaming ecosystem,
Oh yeah.
especially in crypto gaming ecosystem. So we'll have to see what makes it a success. But one of the core principles of design overall, like especially in games, is iteration. You don't get it right on the first try. It's taking a model that works and then twisting it, changing something about it, and seeing if that works. And if that doesn't work, or if it does work, build off of that. And you kind of have to just build off of the shoulders of giants over time. So that's why I gave like a pretty large time estimate for when we're going to see this adopted. But it's definitely going to be, as everything starts to move to a decentralized infrastructure overall, games are just kind of down the pipeline, and we're going to see how people really integrate with that, especially when we get to Web 3 being more commonplace within like the general community consensus, not only just on like online but in real life as well.
No, that's great. And every time, I love talking about like, Web3 game, crypto game and everything like that. And it just, I don't know, it just does something to me though. But I do want to kind of get back to this though, because we mentioned like, NFTs as a whole, right? And kind of right now, we have all the attention on meme coins and kind of AI right now. And the question I want to ask you, in your own opinion, like, will we ever see kind of like an NFT run or NFTs kind of coming back like we did like in 2021?
Hmm. In terms of like, so in my personal opinion, are we going to see like the PFP collections, like the Bored Apes and all those like popular those ones that kind of that jumped up in crazy price because of the exclusivity,
Yes.
the novelty of it? I'm I understand the desire for it. I don't think that's going to be widely adopted personally.
Mhm.
I think more utility NFTs are going to be coming out, even if they are similar in structure to like the Bored Ape Yacht Society or Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then various other projects as well. Don't need to name names, but as an example, right? So I feel like we're going to see more utility with these NFTs. People want more than just like a pretty picture to go along with it. Obviously, there's still going to be a time and a place for those types of things. things, but we're going to see ecosystems built around it. And that's kind of where House of Titans is trying to position itself, where we have these collections, but they all have something deeper beyond just like the art or the utility of them. Like we have an entire ecosystem of like passive revenue that's built into all of our streams, and they're kind of integrated together. Like we don't need you to, like, if you have a PFP, you don't have to buy a stronghold, but your stronghold will be better by having a PFP. And if you're an investor in Titan token, well, you earn Titan token by holding our NFTs and stuff. So I think we have a really good model for how how NFTs are going to be built off of into the future. But it's going to be really difficult to kind of replicate the lightning in a bottle success of of early
Yeah.
2021, in my opinion. But hey, prove me wrong, right? So I'm excited to see what the next generation of these tokens is going to be. We have a lot of awesome developers, not only on Cardano but across blockchain Web3 in general, that are making these crazy cool projects, building it up and really taking like blockchain technology again. I hate to use the buzzwords, but blockchain technology to the next level, because there's some really interesting applications of this technology that's going to be that revolutionizing the way we use technology and the way we view the world overall.
No, definitely. And, like CJ, like I appreciate your time. I've got a couple more questions for you though, because I
Mhm.
find this super interesting with you guys, because you've been in one of the projects, you guys have been around for a little bit, and you guys have stuck around even when, like, the toughest of times, in this bear market, right? And you, as kind of like the CTO and everything like that, like, how have you guys kept your community like engaged and throughout this whole kind of bear market? Like, how hard has that been for you all? And like, what was some of the successes you saw, and like, how'd you do it all?
Yeah, so funnily enough, we actually have had pretty good success during those bear markets. We launched our strongholds
Mhm.
like within the middle of a bear market, and we ended up selling out. So that has generally not been too much of a problem. I think that the bear and bull markets obviously are kind of passive trends throughout the yearly cycles and ebbs and flows of the market. But I think what people are really looking for, and when they're stingy on their money, like the bear market, is just that there's not really anything to invest in. There's not really like anything worthwhile that more so to invest in, and people want to ensure that they're going to be making money. Their number wants to go up, right? And so providing utility and value and ensuring that things are working, keeping a transparent public communications with everyone, trying to answer questions, engage with the community daily. I know for anyone that's in the House of Titans Discord, Apex is on there literally every day.
Yep.
Like from his newborn was born, and he was still texting pictures of his kid of and answering questions in the chat. Like he is always online, and I don't envy the man for that, because oh my god, sometimes it just gets overwhelming. But I think, yeah, just keeping like an active, awesome communication, keeping yourself posted and like in the public consensus for a long period of time. So then when you actually fulfill on your promises, people remember you, recognize that, oh, hey, these people made a promise, they followed through on it, they walked you through the entire process, every step of the way, and got you there. It really proves like trustworthiness, builds a foundation of belief in your project that you can fulfill the goals and things that you're trying to do. And I think that is kind of the key to the success, at least with us. There's probably more formulas that work, but with us, it's been clear and consistent communication.
Oh, exactly though, because Apex is always on. He's always like chatting. He's always posting. So that's kind of like one of the kind of like green flags in projects. And when I kind of take a look at him, the founders, easy to reach. He's always willing to talk to anybody. Even me at the time, like someone like pretty unknown, still unknown now, but like really unknown at that time. And no, it was great to finally like get you guys on here though. But I do want to say one thing. Where would you guys like to be like right from a year from now? Like this time, like next year, where would you guys like to have accomplished?
Yeah, so this month specifically, we're launching a few major features that have been widely anticipated. So our rewards claiming platform is finally going to be up sometime this month. We've hit a few hurdles with that. Not to dive too much into the weeds, we'll be posting a message on our Discord probably today or tomorrow, just to keep transparency and communication open. But that's going to be huge, because people will actually be able to start feeling the rewards from all that they've built, and all that they've earned so far. So we're building out that at the moment. The PFP art upgrade is coming this month, along with the Cardania mining farms going live. We're also probably going to undergo a rebrand through early next year, moving away from like the gamification platforms like the House of Titan stuff. We've gone through that metamorphosis. Like I had talked about how we've started as a PFP project, now have a token. There's it's difficult to really onboard people when we have this complicated web of intersecting assets and features. So one of our goals here is to rebrand from House of Titans to just Titans as one, and keep the House of Titans branding exclusively for our NFTs and assets like that, and then kind of build off of that. So a year from now, well, our goal here is just to scale our business, build up and make more targeted investments, grow the rewards for our holders, and hopefully in a calendar year from today we'll be back on this show telling everyone about the world, how awesome our projects has grown, how much more rewards and revenue that we've been able to distribute to the community, how many projects we've been able to incubate and invest into and grow alongside. I've said it in multiple spaces before, but in this ecosystem especially, it's not a zero sum game. A rising tide lifts all boats,
Mhm.
and that's what we're trying to do. We're a deep brain aggregation platform that's trying to not only make investments into established projects, but also into new and upcoming ones that have a lot of potential and a lot of room for growth. Give them a platform to support themselves and get attention from a really positive, awesome community that we've tried to foster over the past year. So yeah, the future is bright. Is a short form answer of all that.
No, yeah, definitely. And guys, that's something also too that's very huge. That a project that's always evolving, always got to doing something, always just trying to maybe not even rebrand or like kind of just do different things and trying to still kind of like stay in the mix. And I love that about you guys. But CJ, I appreciate you having coming on the show and everything like that. But is there anything you want to say or do before you go?
Look out for the all those developments I just mentioned prior. We have a lot of stuff coming out the pipeline, and if you haven't already gotten into our ecosystem, just join the Discord. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to invest in anything. Take a look around, talk to some people. We have some great people in the chat, and we're always happy to help. So thank you again for having me on here. I'm glad I was able to make it in Apex's stead.
Yeah.
But we're building a lot, and get excited for this month. We have a lot coming.
That's amazing. And guys, you heard it here first. A lot of is coming this month. And guys, that wraps our show. If you like content like this, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely follow me on X, and I will see you guys around on the next one. Take care. Love you guys.